How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Which currency will you be using next year? Well, we're used to using a currency which is controlled by the government. In the UK, a central bank was set up at the beginning of the 17th century. It wasn't long before most governments decided that controlling the currency was an advantageous method of controlling everything else. With the advent of digital currencies, that control is likely to become draconian. But it so happens that these digital currencies are structured on blockchains, and blockchains can be either closed or open systems. The Chinese blockchain that supports the digital yuan is closed. It's controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is founded on a blockchain that has no owner or controlling party. The network is not centralized but distributed. In other words, Bitcoin cannot be controlled by a government unless that government takes over a significant number of the nodes on the network, something which would be rather difficult to achieve. So, we have a situation where we currently have currencies controlled by governments and a few digital currencies that are run by their users. So far, the two types of system have been running side by side, but what happens when a new currency is created which sits on a closed blockchain? A blockchain controlled by a commercial operation such as Amazon or Apple. That is a different matter altogether. This is likely to cause a certain amount of friction between governments and companies. A currency that's not controlled by any one party is not anywhere near such a threat as one that is. So, what happens when Amazon or Apple or any other company start to deploy their own currencies? Well, that is just what is about to happen. A couple of years ago, Mark Zuckerberg set up his own currency for use with Facebook. It was called Libra. We were all ready to see this new financial rollout, but something went wrong, and the rollout was delayed. It seems the name of the currency has in the meantime been changed to Diem, and the rollout of this revised version of the Facebook-owned stablecoin is planned for sometime during the next few months. In fact, we're told this new currency will be released this year. What we'll have, when that happens, is a separate, competing financial system. And this new currency may well start off innocuously enough. After all, what is there to stop Facebook charging their own currency for their own goods and services? But when Facebook has 2.7 billion customers, well over a quarter of the people on the planet, and they can get by using a different currency for transactions, that is going to pose a serious threat to the current financial status quo. It may be the case that one has to start off by using the official currency of a country to buy Diems. But once the transactions take place using the new currency, any government control is diminished. Amazon is not far behind. And then there's Google, which is partnering with Coinbase to integrate crypto into the Google Wallet. Apple, of course, is keeping its cards close as usual, but the company is bound to be contemplating building on Apple Pay. Apple Pay is a mobile payment and digital wallet service by Apple Incorporated. That allows users to make payments in person, in iOS apps, and on the web using Safari. It is also supported on the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the iPad, and of course the Mac. It is not available yet on any client device that's not made and sold by Apple. But how long before that is modified to be used anywhere? And then how much longer before Apple Pay starts to use the Mac coin. What this means is that cash as we know it is set to disappear, and we will soon be able to choose which currency we use in our transactions. It also means there's going to be a struggle with competing financial systems. Which faction is going to win? Governments or the tech giants? There are several stablecoins out there already, some tied to currencies or to gold. They have many of the same advantages of a cryptocurrency in terms of privacy, speed, and ease of use. But most importantly, they cut out the middleman. There's very little you can't do with the new stable coins. You can even earn some indecent interest by offering to place your currency into a lending pool. We're talking returns of anything from 2% to 20% and sometimes even more. And because you don't need a bank account to access this new money, that means it's instantly available to anyone in the world with an internet connection. Unlike Bitcoin or even gold or silver, which pose no immediate threat to governments, these new currencies are controlled by some of the most powerful names in the tech world, with millions, and even in some cases billions of members and customers. With the flip of a switch, any one of them could serve as the new global currency, right alongside the US dollar. Since January the 1st, 2021, the size of this new market has already more than tripled. And the Bank of England just released a plan that assumes 20% of all bank deposits will flood into stablecoins. And Facebook's new stable coin, Diem, is just moments away from rolling out. All told, Mark Zuckerberg plans to release a few variants pegged to major global currencies, plus another linked to a basket of currencies from the euro to the pound to the dollar. To get the job done, he's partnered with a California firm, Silvergate Bank, which will issue Facebook's dollar-pegged digital currency later this year. Well, Facebook, of course, isn't alone by any means in this marketplace. Popular crypto exchange Coinbase has partnered already with Visa on its own stablecoin known as USD Coin. In fact, any company that can feasibly get into this market is likely to try. What is the best way to make money? By investing in money. There are huge profits to be made in disrupting the world of money. Take an example we're all familiar with, credit card companies. Apparently they earn well over $100 billion in fees and interest income every year. More recently, we've seen the rise of so-called fintech companies like PayPal and Square. At the same time, world governments and central banks are racing ahead with plans for their own stablecoins. And here we have the scene set for a struggle, as it is very likely that the new stablecoins will attract a lot of attention and use. That may well be to the detriment of the official nation-based currencies. It looks as though there will be some interesting developments ahead. Over 100 million Amazon Prime members are ready to start using an Amazon coin. Billions of Facebook members around the world will be able to transact in Facebook's stablecoin Diem, and countless more could soon be exposed to private currencies from Apple to Google and beyond. The interesting point for me in all of this is a confluence of two ideas. The first is Gresham's law, which states that good money drives out bad. For example, if there are two forms of commodity money in circulation which are accepted by law as having similar face value, the more valuable commodity will gradually disappear from circulation. What that means in plain language is that people would tend to use the bad money, in other words get rid of it, while hoarding the good money, because the bad money will be losing value while the good money effectively gains in value precisely because it is not debased. Set that idea against the profligate use of state-sponsored money, which we're seeing today, and you can assume that the better managed currencies will eventually become stores of wealth, while the state-run currencies will become second class. And the next thing we'll find is that private currencies may well adopt a strategy of trading out of depreciating currencies and into appreciating ones, or start to decouple entirely from fiat currencies. Such a move might well act as the next brake upon such profligate spending by governments. Who knows? But I'm now venturing well into the unknown, but these moves are going to usher in a new way of using and evaluating currencies. Bring it on, say I. Let's see what happens. Okay, folks, thanks for listening. Please like my videos, it does help, and see you next week.